10 feet away from me. But,
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. But, man, keep it pushing because this next fight, there's a lot to talk about here with this next fight as far as storylines, as far as potential new stars, as far as performance of the night bonuses. So we'll get to it, man. We got Umar Nurmagomedov versus Sergey Morozov. And, yes, you heard that right, the Nurmagomedov family. And for a second there, we thought it was a younger brother, but I guess it turns out it's a close cousin.
Usman is his younger brother. Umar is his cousin.
Yeah, you can easily enough to, mix that up. But, Umar Nurmagomedov, the 25-year-old cousin to Khabib Nurmagomedov, and it had Khabib cornering him and translating for him, which
was tight.
You got to love it, man. You got to love it. And, like, you can tell Khabib loved it, which put a big old smile on my soft
and DC. I felt like DC was super happy to see Umar get the win and look as good as he did. Because when he came in, like, DC was, what I'm saying, like, all over him, like, gripping his shoulders, like, Umar, my man.
Yeah, man. And, like, there's just, like, Khabib is such, and we've talked about it before, especially on the Khabib Gaethje card where we got all drunk and emotional. But Khabib is just such like a genuine guy that, like, I mean, there's no faking the funk with that guy, and just the smile on his face, you could tell how proud he was of his younger cousin. And it was just cool to watch, man. A good family vibe. Wouldn't be the last that we see of family vibes in this card, and we'll get to that. But we had Umar Nurmagomedov at -550. Huge favorite. Fighting Sergey Morozov, who Sergey Morozov is a good fighter. And,
Very good.
And I gotta say, I mean, I guess hindsight's 2020 or whatever. And I mean, Umar looked great. But you got to figure some of that huge money line had to do with the last name, right? Just knowing they were going to get some casual bets.
Of course, yeah. I got a buddy that's asking about Conor this weekend, and I told him the exact same thing. Like, he shouldn't be a -310 favorite. Like, do I think he's going to win? Yeah, but that number is already bet way too high just because people see McGregor and they put a ticket on it.
Facts. Big facts. But, man, also interesting to note, fighting at bantamweight. So a little bit smaller than Khabib. Granted, he looked like a big bantamweight. It's probably one of those things. He's still very young. It wouldn't shock me at all as he gets a little older and more experienced to maybe move up to featherweight or maybe even Khabib's former division lightweight one of these days. But as of now, get fighting some smaller guys. He's still young, still has that metabolism. Fuck it. He looked great. Didn't seem like the weight cut, killed him or anything. But I got to say, so for everybody that sees that last name, Nurmagomedov, and expected a grapple fest, Umar had something to say about that. He's
the kickboxer in the family, apparently.
Yeah, and, a lot of the commentators, were kind of comparing his style more to Sabit's rather than Khabib's. However, though, I got to say, man, and I'm not
that grappling was nice, though. Whenever he got, like, on takedowns and shit, he looked just like Nurmagomedov.
He kept the top press. He stayed higher than him. He was having the wrist control. Like, well, I don't know. Maybe he has his cake and eat it, too, it looks like to me. Because whenever he got on the ground, it looked just like a B. I don't know. I know he's his own man, and his striking, dude, those question mark kicks. And I guess we'll get into it a little more round by round. But
they come out of nowhere.
Lightning quick, like as fast as a jab.
Right.
Like as fast as like a heavyweight jab,
like,
he was able to pull off a question mark kick.
Even Felder and Gooden were remarking about, like, wow, that kick is so fast, I can't even really see it getting set up. And that's like coming from a professional fighter.
Yeah, and a high-level kickboxer like Felder. Yeah, like just the fluidity in his hips. And I know I probably make, like, NFL quarterback comparisons, beat him like a dead horse, but the fluidity of Umar's hips on those kicks reminded me of the fluidity of, like, a pitcher or a quarterback's shoulder. Just like the average person, I go to throw a football, it's going to be a big wind-up, maybe a couple of hitches. But it's all like it's like his hip sockets just sprayed with WD-40, man. Just fucking so lubed up.
It's one of those things that's like watching like Tyreek Hill like run a route. Like, it's literally just different. Like, you see it and you're like, damn, there's no loss of speed at any point in that. No movement causes a loss of speed.
No load up, like just no like negative critiques on those kicks at all. But man, round. And we say, here we are hyping up his striking, and it kind of proves how well-rounded he is. Because in round one, Umar came out, had multiple takedowns, and took the guy back twice.
Dude, his entries on his takedowns were beautiful, too. Like, the timing sometimes, and the way he'd go to the weak side, put his head on the weak side, and just shoot across the body. Like, beautiful. Beautiful grappling.
Yeah, beautiful grappling. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're sitting here hyping up his striking, and that grappling looks insanely good too. He's going to be a problem. But
Well, he's 15-0, right, or 13-0.
he's undefeated. I forget the exact
Yeah,
number, but yeah, in that ballpark for sure. And I mean, bantamweight's so loaded, but goddamn, I mean, I think he can make. All right, like just for example, and actually, I'm going to ask you a question right after we break down the second round and then finish. But yeah, go ahead and introduce round two. Tell describe the finish.
So essentially, it's a lot more of the same in round two, except that you can see Morozov is starting to wear on him. Nurmagomedov, I feel like, is starting to learn or land more of his shots. And then he, if I am not incorrect, gets the takedown here, right, from ducking under a hook, and then gets him to the ground, takes his back, and just gets the RNC pretty much locked in.
Yeah,
And shout out to Morozov because, I mean, he was doing everything he could. He tried to get him to the cage to peel him off or, like, use it as, like to defend the angle. I mean, Umar was just there for all of it.
Morozov did about as good as a guy in his position could do. Like, and I know that maybe, I mean, some people out there may disagree, like, oh, he could have won, but I mean, not really. Like, this fight was set up to be a showcase for Umar for sure, 100%. I mean, I know once those cage doors lock, anything can happen, but unless you're like a top elite guy fighting a guy like Umar, like. And I know we went on and on about how good Umar looked good, and he did look good, and he got a performance of the night bonus for it, which I think, I had no problems with that.
Deservedly so. Like, his whole performance was good, not just the finish.
Yes, that's a very key distinction to make. And but yeah, Morozov didn't he put up a fight. Like, I know and it was a one-sided fight. Yeah, it was a second round finish, but he did put up a fight. Like, he didn't look just inept in there. Like, he was outmatched. He was fighting a great fighter.
No, one of my notes was that literally Morozov is very game. Like, that's one of the things I wrote down.
He wasn't scared. Yeah.